finding the right running shoes is actually very important. Look after your shoes, and your shoes will look after you. Now, not all running shoes are created equal. And the type of shoe you choose will largely depend on your foot type and the type of running you intend to do. One thing you should do regardless, however, is to think about your shoe purchase as an investment, not an expense. Proper running shoes are expensive, and especially when you're just starting out, it's tempting to go to your local market and buy a pair of cheapo trainers. But most sports shoes, trainers, sneakers, call them what you will, that you buy from the supermarket or from the discount store are designed for leisure wear as casual shoes. And they're fine for that. If you just want something comfortable for everyday wear, supermarket trainers are perfect. But if you're serious about running, though, you need some serious shoes. And supermarket trainers are simply not going to be up to the job. And getting the wrong type of running shoe can cause injury, so you need to get this one right. And it's all about pronation. Now, what is pronation? I can hear you wondering. Okay, pronation occurs at the subtalar joint, that's the joint below the ankle. And it describes the inward rolling motion of the foot just after it lands on the ground. And this is called the initial contact, and it's part of the stance phase of your gait cycle. Now, there are 4 different categories of pronation. First of all, there's underpronation. And people with underpronation have a high arch to their foot. And they may be at risk of increased shock transmission through the lower limb. Then you have natural pronation. And this is a normal arch, and this is probably the most common type of pronation. And people with a natural pronation suffer from few pronation-related difficulties. Then you have overpronation, and this is sometimes called fallen arches. And because of this, people with overpronation may have issues regarding the timing of muscle firing. And this can lead to prolonged rotation of the muscle or foot. And it can also give the appearance of being pigeon-toed. Now, pigeon-toed is actually a condition that's caused by a distortion of the lower leg. But if you suffer from overpronation, it can make your feet appear to sort of pitch in towards each other while you're walking along. So it can give you the appearance of being pigeon-toed, even though you're not technically pigeon-toed. Then you have severe overpronation. And this is commonly known as flat feet. And if you're flat-footed, you have no or very little arch to your foot. And this leads to poor shock attenuation and a high risk of injury. Now, running shoes also fall into 4 different types. First of all, there are stability running shoes. And these are recommended for runners who are mild to moderate overpronators and who generally have low to normal arches. And these runners tend to need a shoe with a combination of good support and midsole cushioning. Then there are performance running shoes, and these are recommended either for racing or, if you're biomechanically efficient, for training. And they have varying degrees of support and cushioning, but at 250 to 300 grams, they're generally lighter and narrower than other running shoes. Then there are neutral running shoes, and these are recommended for runners who need maximum midsole cushioning and minimum medial support. And these shoes are best for biomechanically efficient runners with minimum pronation, and midfoot or forefoot strikers with high or normal arches. And finally, there are minimalist running shoes. And these are recommended for biomechanically efficient runners who want maximum responsiveness and a stripped down shoe while retaining an element of cushioning. And these are seen as the midpoint between neutral cushioned and performance shoes. And all this comes from the good people at runnersworld.co.uk. And in fact, if you go to their site, you can find this shoe finder, which you can go through and answer several questions, and they'll recommend the right type of shoe that you need for the type of running that you're going to do and the type of foot that you have. And the site is runnersworld.co.uk/general/runners-finder/shoe-finder/6236.html. Now, bear in mind, this is a UK site, so the brand of shoe and the model of shoe that they recommend might not be available in the country where you live if you're watching this video outside of the UK. But it will give you an idea as to the sort of shoe to look for, so you can perhaps find something comparable that's for sale where you happen to live. And it's well worth a visit.